Hello, and welcome to Casual Shenanigans Gaming, a podcast all about DayZ, Battlefield, and all things PC gaming related. I'm your host, Jerem Gaming, or Jeremiah, and tonight I'm joined by Dave, the not-so-evil Evil Viking 13.
Hey, guys.
And special guest, Jake from InTheWorksMedia.
What's going on?
And Joel will probably be joining us a little bit later, but actually right now he is finishing up the Norman movie cast and crew podcast thing. I'm not really sure what he really called it, but live stream Q&A. For those of you who don't know, Joel's movie, which we've been going on and on about for a month or two now, it was successfully funded. The Kickstarter ended like 2 hours ago, and they pretty much doubled their goal.
Doubled, yeah.
Oh, they got over 14 at the end?
$14,241.
Yeah, so that was just amazing. So thank you to everyone who contributed to that. You guys have a big part in making it happen, so we really appreciate it, and I'm sure Joel will say the same thing when he gets in here, if he actually does, unless he forgets and leaves.
He'll be too busy like rolling his giant pile of money.
I don't think they just give you the money immediately. They're like, oh, the Kickstarter ended, turn your printer on.
That's how that works, right?
Okay, so we'll start the podcast out with the news, and then we'll be getting into Battlefield, which will be the main topic for tonight. So this first bit of news will be a blast in the past for anyone our age, and then for young people, you won't care. But Myst Masterpiece Edition is coming to Steam. Yes. I don't know about you guys, but this was probably one of the first 3 games I ever played was Myst.
I watched people play it. Does that count?
I didn't play it well. Like, I pretty much never got off the first island because I was 6. But yeah. I had it.
I have a strange displeasure for like adventure point and click type games. I don't know what it is. I think I played too many when I was a kid and I just kind of got over it.
I think it's the gratification of finally figuring out some incredibly hard puzzle. Like because when you finally do it, you feel like, oh, this is amazing, and then 5 minutes later you're stuck up against a wall of something that doesn't make sense. I used to play nothing but adventure games. I played like Trader's Gate and something about Atlantis and Mysteries of Egypt. I don't know, a bunch of like those old point and click ones. They're a lot of fun.
What's the OG point and click adventure where it's just like text and you just type it in?
Dragon something or
not Dwarf Fortress. You're not thinking of that.
No.
It's like it was like on DOS. I think it's pretty old.
There's not Quark. I think I know which one you're talking about, but yeah, like from the 80s. I think early 80s. Oh, there goes Google. Anyway, but Real Myst came out in 2000, was a 3D remake of the old game Myst, and now Real Myst Masterpiece Edition basically just improves compatibility for modern computers, adds some navigation aids, adds a flashlight. You can either do it in full 3D like the Real Myst, or you can do point and click. And there's a thing to speed up walking. So anyway, it's going to be $18 for people who own Real Myst, and then it's probably going to be like $25 for everybody else.
It's a little expensive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Age of Empires 2, when it came to Steam, was also $20. They know when they've got nostalgia on their side.
That is true.
Yeah, I don't think devs are shy of pumping it for a few extra bucks. But you can rest assured, like first Steam sale, it's going to be down to $5 or something, $5 or $10.
Yeah, I see that as a $250 title, honestly.
Yeah.
It looks like Rust, like from the screenshots, the graphics quality. It just made me laugh. It has that, at least, I think it's the trees. It has that blocky, like, 90s CGI feel to it.
So is that good for Myst or bad for Rust?
Rust has kind of like a Minecraft style to it. At least
because Rust is
like
almost 20 years newer than Myst.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Rust is also an indie alpha game, though.
Yeah, but 20 years, you know. Oculus Rift's first exclusive launch title is officially Eve Valkyrie, which is a dogfighting extension, or kind of a actually, I think it's almost like a standalone game in the Eve universe. It's set in the Eve universe, and it's a dogfighting game. It was used to demo the device initially. That's what got everyone like hooked on how cool the Oculus Rift could possibly be.
Space combat, yeah.
Yeah, which I'm not really excited about Eve so much. I'm more excited about Star Citizen. I think Star Citizen is where I make the jump to 4K and an Oculus Rift and a surround setup. Like, I think that's all going to be Star Citizen.
Speaking of fan noise, the computer that powers that monster.
Oh, please. All I need is like two 780 Ti's. Okay, Arma 2017. Now, you know, there was like the 2017 mod for Arma 2. Actually, it was like the mod for DayZ.
Yeah.
Did either of you guys play 2017?
Nope.
I played it, yeah, actually, a few hours.
How would you describe 2017 for someone who had no idea what it was?
DayZ was the idea of a survival game that punishes you for playing, basically. And then 2017 was like the natural extension of that, where it was like more punishment and less reward. I liked it. It was really hardcore, but it was really hard. Like, I found so many backpacks full of tin cans. Because it's set like way after the apocalypse, so there's like literally nothing left. Yeah. It was interesting.
It really is the road then.
Yeah, basically.
Well, there's going to be a new mod, 2017, for Arma 3. And that's going to set it in Altus, but they're actually getting rid of zombies. They were going to have like some infected humans in there, but they decided just to get rid of that. And it's just really going to be focusing on some actually other creatures they're creating. And it's just supposed to be like survival horror, which DayZ isn't, you know, like DayZ is scary when you first play it, but after you get used to it, DayZ never really is scary. Now, maybe if we get to the point,
it's not scary.
It's tense, but if we get to the point where like you come into a town and 500 zombies surround you, you know, maybe. But until then, like it's not really a scary game. It's tense, but it's not scary. But it sounds like they're trying to take 2017 and branch off and go to an actual horror game.
That's exciting for me because it sounds like a multiplayer DayZ style version of Stalker, and I love the Stalker games so much. That hardcore survival. Actually, okay, don't laugh at me, but I bought them all again today on GOG just because of all the extra features. Like, I own a couple copies of each, including collector's tins that I bought on eBay from Europe. But there were more bonus features on GOG, and I was like, well, I can probably give the codes away at some point. So I bought them
makes
again.
You feel good.
Help me.
All right, former Infinity Ward people who now created Respawn, they're the people making Titanfall. They have released the system requirements, and this was like the funniest news headline I've read this week for video games. PC Gamer actually, I think, said this one, or was no, Maximum PC had this as their byline, was Titanfall minimum spec requirements revealed, can your computer handle it? Well, yes, the minimum requirements are basically the same as Modern Warfare, which is 7 years old. You need an Athlon X2 or Core 2 Duo with 2.4 gigahertz, 4 gigs of RAM, and a 8800 GT.
Oh, man. That is old school.
So basically, if you can emulate Windows on your iPhone, you're probably set for Titanfall. Now, it doesn't say what they didn't give the recommended requirements, but the minimum requirements, if nothing else, that should mean the game runs really well on a range of hardware. So, I mean, kudos to them for that, but it also means they're not probably pushing the boundaries of what game engines can do.
It's not Crysis.
I'm actually kind of curious to see how far they go on PC because they've promised a good PC port.
Yeah. Like
I don't think it's actually a port. I think they're actually deving it. They're actually doing a PC dedicated build. So
well, that's the same thing that they said for Call of Duty Ghosts, or they didn't, but I mean Activision said for Call of Duty Ghosts.
That was a lie.
that 40 gigs, all that 40 gig download really got you was really high res textures that didn't look that great, low poly models, and a really, really slow frame rate because it was poorly optimized.
Yeah, tell me about it. I've been very vocal about being pretty hacked off that I wasted money on the PC version because in order for me to play it, I have to disable a graphics card.
Yep, same here.
Unacceptable.
At the time, I was running dual 7950s and I was getting like 25 frames per second. I mean, which is just insane. Like I was able to run Modern Warfare on, I don't remember, like a 9600 GT and an old Core 2 quad, and it's really using like the same engine pretty much. I mean, for everything they talk about how they've made improvements and updates and stuff, it's the same engine.
Well, I was getting below 60 frames per second with two cross-fired 7970s.
Yeah, it was AMD cards like, I think it hated more. Did you ditch your 7970s in the Bitcoin craze?
No.
Oh man, that's what I did. I sold both of mine, made like hundreds of dollars, and now I have a 770. It was good.
No, I got these for free from doing the Crisis tournament thing.
Oh, okay.
Way back when, and I'm like super attached to them because of that.
Oh, okay, all right. So yeah, that's Titanfall. Now, it also sucks. You've got to pre-order it to get into the beta. I was looking forward to playing the beta.
Wait, I thought they said you don't.
Wait, have they changed that?
No, yeah, they said that you don't. There's no requirements. They're going to be doing it in waves, and they hope to get as many people as they can into the beta.
Nice. Oh, they changed that.
So
okay,
no purchase necessary.
It's probably. Hopefully, I was thinking, did they not learn anything from Battlefield 4's launch? Like it would have been probably better. You'd have fewer people who didn't like the game buying it if they did something like an open beta. Okay, well that's good. I mean, even with Origins, like money back guarantee, you could always buy it day of and then return it if you didn't like it. But,
yeah.
Which Steam has not replied to that yet. I'm surprised.
Well,
it's a pretty awesome feature.
Yeah, but Steam has a lot of other things going for them, like goodwill.
Yeah, really. I feel like they would have no incentive to do that because they offer so many sales and stuff. Like people would buy it for like a penny, you know, like when they have like the 250 sales, and they're like, "Oh, wait, I don't want to play this anymore."
Yeah, Valve is not going to introduce stuff like that to Steam until they have to, probably. Speaking of Valve doing things, did anyone else get an invite to the in-home streaming today? They sent out another wave of beta invites.
I did.
Woo.
I did not.
Oh man, I mean, it's cool. Like I got mine, I guess, like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's cool, but I don't really have a need for it. But it's fun to play with. It works really well. I was very surprised at how well it worked. But I don't really want to do that yet. I don't have any game that I'm aching to play on the couch, I guess is the thing. Or aching to play on the couch at under 1080. So yeah, that's the main part of our news, and then we've got some Battlefield stuff, but we will get to that in a couple minutes. So we have a couple questions. You can write into the show, and you can be a part of it by writing into casualshenanigans@gmail.com or tweeting at casualshenaniga.
Stupid
okay.
Twitter character limit. Forever bitter.
Yeah, that's why. So anyway, we have something from this guy who doesn't give us their name. He sent us a Newegg list, like a Newegg parts list. Hey guys, I'm a huge fan of the show. I've been listening to the podcast from the first episode.
Nice.
I'm going to build my first PC. I'm hoping to order sometime in February, and I'm wondering if you guys approve of this build. I have a budget of around $1,400. I'm planning to eventually get a second 760 and SLI. I will be using this computer to play DayZ, Rust, Arma, Battlefield, etc. It would really mean a lot to me if you guys could look at my build and share your opinions. Good luck with your movie, Joel, and keep up the great work, you guys. Okay, I'm just going to call him S8 because that's the first part of his email address. So, S8, thank you for writing in. If you had a more attractive name, I would call you that. Sorry.
Thank you, listener number 1.
You know who you are. Here's his parts list. It's a Cooler Master Elite 430 case. Who cares? It's the case. A Gigabyte Z77L55 motherboard. An EVGA Superclocked 760, a Corsair HX650 power supply, an i7 3570, not the K version, just the regular 3570. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Can't do that.
A Samsung 840 Evo 120 gig, solid state, 8 gigs of G.Skill memory, a 1 terabyte Western Digital Black, a Sidewinder keyboard, Asus monitor, light-on DVD burner, the same $20 one everyone picks, Windows 7, and a fan, one single Cooler Master fan. So,
real men don't get CD burners. Just drop it. I don't have one on mine.
You say that, but I've been having actually problems with my DVD burner, and the other day I needed to burn a disc. It's like, okay, it's all right. Well, I've got my laptop. Oh, that doesn't have a disk drive. That's all right. We have my wife's Mac. No, that doesn't have one either. All right, guess I'm just out of luck.
Well, I actually have one, but I don't use it. It's just sitting. So if I need it, I guess I could go grab it and use it.
The only thing I ever use mine for is burning home videos to DVD for my grandmother. Like, that's it.
I think mine's actually a Blu-ray one too.
Very
It's
nice.
fancy. It was like $200 or something back in
Real
the
men
day.
have Blu-ray burners.
Yeah.
Blu-ray, because that's the format of the future.
My copy of Windows actually won't boot without the installation disk in there. I don't know what is wrong with my installation, but Microsoft
Wait, every time you boot, you have your installation disk in?
yes. And
So you have to listen
Why
to
are you trying to get me to convert to Windows 8? Why do you keep trying to get me to do that?
the problem is that this build is upgraded like 3 times as far as the OS is concerned.
Just
so
reinstall, Dave.
I really need to. I might this weekend actually. I'm
You can
tired of this.
actually do a repair install, which would probably fix it.
I thought that too, actually.
Eventually,
Or that,
you just got to burn it down, you know? You just got to
Just-
burn the forest.
what is that refresh option in Windows 8 too? Like I tried that too, and it's like this is not available because you upgraded 3 times.
The only reason I know this is because I've been messing with this recently. If you go in and you initiate it, you can actually do an upgrade, and it'll actually fix all the old files, oddly enough.
Oh, nice.
So you can try that.
Might try that again. I haven't tried on 8.1. I tried with 8.
Yeah,
Maybe it'll work
if you
better.
initiate an upgrade, it fixes all the old files.
I may have to try this weekend. I'm tired of all these issues. This build is old and creaky at this point.
Don't try to get me to upgrade to Windows 8 until yours is running well. How about that?
8's
My
pretty, I
copy-
like 8.
Yeah.
Eight's not bad. I just don't feel the need to upgrade.
Hey, you get those Battlefield frames, bro.
Well, I get a lot more Battlefield frames when they fix things in the game.
Yeah, hey, Jeremiah, join us on 8.1 and you can stutter like mine does.
Yeah, actually, I'm stutter-free right now, so if you think I'm changing anything, you're
It's
crazy.
a house of glass. Don't touch anything.
Everything is balanced. The vortex.
I'm
Is it
riding high on that
equilibrium?
mantle.
Oh, yeah.
Nice, nice.
So what do you guys think about this guy's build?
I laughed at the case. It's a very very stereotypical like first PC case with a blue LED fan and the window on the side. It just
Yeah.
made me laugh.
For the money, I'd get my case, a Corsair 200R. For $50, it is, I think, is the best case you can possibly get. I absolutely love mine, but whatever
I
case
have
you
a
want, probably fine.
I have a Storm Scout 2, which is kind of like a fancy case, but it's white, and you don't see a lot of white cases.
No, you don't.
And you can actually get them for like under $100, I think, at this point. That's a really good one, but I will warn you, it is kind of cramped. Which, if I would have known that at the time, I would have probably. Well, when I was building this, I wasn't thinking, "Hey, I'm going to have 2 giant 7970s in it." But then when I put it all in there, I'm like looking in there. I was like, "Man, I don't really have much room," and I have to like, if I take it apart, I have to like systematically take it apart.
Well, that was the problem with my Antec 900. You know, that's like the most popular computer case ever, I think. And I had issues with mine running graphics cards. As soon as you got above 9 inches, you just couldn't get hard because the hard drive's cables went straight into the side of the power of the graphics card. So there was just nothing you could do if you filled all your hard drive bays up, and swapping a hard drive out took like 10 minutes. But my 200R, I was able to get 2 7950s, a sound card, 5 mechanical drives, and 2 SSDs, and a large cooler all in there. So, I mean, for $50, I really think like Corsair makes some nice cases. But I mean, the case really, that's more of a personal.
I'm just a big
preference
fan
thing,
of like
too.
an understated case, like
Yeah.
not any kind of blue LEDs, just very
But this is
simple
his first
and nice.
gaming PC, so he's got to get the crazy case. Everyone
It's
does
true.
it.
Everyone does it first.
You got to get the crazy
everywhere.
case. In 2 years, you'll hate it, and you'll switch to something else. Probably.
That's right.
For me, I think the biggest issue I see with this build is the fact that you're just getting a regular 3570.
Yeah, you got to go K.
Yeah, you got to get a K just because, like, the 3570, I have one, and that is a super easy to overclock processor. Like, if you can't get it to 4 gigahertz, you're doing something wrong, and you can most likely get it to 4.5 with almost no effort. Especially, go ahead.
I was gonna say not me. I got a bad beat on mine.
What's yours too?
I think it's 4.2.
Ugh.
I couldn't get it past that.
And that's with the H100i.
Yep.
Huh.
I mean, it's not really the heat. I don't know. I think it's something with the voltage on the
Okay.
CPU. I don't know. It was a mystery for months for me.
I mean, you have to get a little bit lucky. Like mine, it'll go to 4.5. It took 5 minutes to get it stable at that. It will not go above 4.55. Like the voltage doesn't matter, the cooling doesn't matter. It just won't do it. So it kind of depends on your chip. But the 3570, like you can really, I mean, you're spending $210 for the 3570. The 3570K is like what, 220? I mean, it's a tiny
It's worth
difference.
it,
You can get them
yeah.
for $200. I got mine for $170 on Amazon used.
Well, if you have a
Um,
micro center in the area, I don't know where this particular person lives. They always sell Intel processors at a discount. And
they're always running crazy in-store deals. Like 4770Ks for like $250. Yeah, but I mean, it could be worth an hour or two drive if you could get one for dirt cheap. But get the K, just even if you don't plan on overclocking now, build the computer, get used to it, and then 2 or 3 years from now, if you feel the performance is slipping a little bit, you can always overclock it then, you know? But I would definitely have a plan to overclock it sometime in the future. So I would also add in like a Cooler Master Hyper 212 cooler in there probably.
That's a great value.
Basic air cooler. Got my processor at 4.5.
Did you say you had?
I have a 770.
No, his. In this build.
It is a EVGA GTX 760 superclocked. So it's got the ACX cooler, 2 gigs of memory.
You know, I would almost say like a lot of people tend to, when they're building a computer, they tend to go hard on like SSD, fancy case, all that stuff. But I think really the way they should go is spend a little bit more on the graphics card, because that is the most expensive investment. Mm-hmm. I think a 770 is a worthwhile upgrade on a build like this, especially since, didn't he say he was going to play Arma?
He's going to play Arma. Yeah, he's going to play Arma. And I mean, in this EVGA card, it's $250, and I've got the exact same EVGA ACX cooler superclock card, except mine's a 770, and mine was only like $320 on a sale. So, I mean, that's not a very big bump in money considering what you're going to spend on the computer, and you are going to get a significant bump.
Oh, yeah.
And then after the 800 series comes out, you can always just pick up a second 770 in the future.
I mean, if I was them, and they're building this on a budget, you've got NVIDIA about to roll out the next generation of cards. Typically when that happens, the old generation goes on sale. So, I mean, if he's willing to hold out a little bit, he or she, since we don't actually know.
Yeah.
S8 number 1.
Doesn't really tell you.
If they're willing to hold out a little bit, they might be able to actually score an upgrade for the same price as the 760 is now.
Yeah, I mean, probably it'll be like...
March or...
Yeah, but you'll probably be able to get like what the 860 will be basically a 770, you know, rebranded, and you'll probably be able to get it for like 230 to 260, somewhere in there. So, you know, it might be worth waiting. If you just can't wait, maybe just buy like a used 670 or something that's decent for now, and then plan on flipping it for the same amount of money when these come out, like when the next generation comes out. Now, if you do plan on SLI, because you did say you plan on doing it, your power supply is a Corsair 650 watt. Now, I ran double 7950s on my 650 watt. It's doable, but 770s and 760s use more power, I believe, than a 7950. So I was kind of close to the limit. So, you know, I might like even just get a little bit of older graphics card, save your money from when the 800s come out, and then get like a 750 or an 850 watt power supply. I don't like recommending people get bigger power supplies than they need it, because most of the time people don't need more than 500 or 600 watts. But you've said you plan on going SLI, so if you plan on doing it, give yourself a little more headroom.
You gotta be like me and get 1200.
Is that what yours? Is that what your EVGA is?
I told you, go big or go home.
Oh man, well, why aren't you running like triple cards?
I don't think I could get another card in my. It's so cramped in there.
That power bill.
I think if I got a third card, I would actually have to consider like some sort of like custom liquid cooling, because it would be so warm in there.
Do you have heat issues with your 7970s?
Nope.
Okay, yeah, my 7950s, I never really had heat issues. I had the Sapphire Dual X's, and they always ran really nice.
What do I have? They're Sapphires. They're the 4 gigabyte. I don't remember what they're called. They're overclocked though, so whatever their overclocked version of the 7970 is. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they don't get hot at all.
Yeah, I think mine was the same thing you're talking about, except the 7950, and I never had heat problems, even running 2 of them.
My 480s were terrifying when I had SLI, with them being in the slots next to each other, maybe 5 millimeters clearance, and the second card would easily hit 99 degrees Celsius, constant under load.
Everything about those 480s sounds like just the worst idea ever.
They were just... I mean, they had heat pipes coming out of the side of the card. And they were named after a nuclear reactor. I mean, come on.
Oh, okay. I have the Vapor X. That's the
yeah, that's what I had. I had a Vapor X, yeah.
And it's 3 gigabytes.
Nice. Those are great cards.
For free, they are.
yeah, for free. Well, until the whole Litecoin and Bitcoin craze, for the money, I think they were some of the best cards you could get. My 7950 overclocked was just as fast as my 770 is now, and that's when 770s were going for $400. And 7950s, you could get them for like $200 pretty reliably. So, I mean, that's a crazy good deal. Of course, they're going for stupid money now, but the guy, he's got a 120 gig Samsung 840 EVO. The 840 EVO is probably the best SSD on the market, so you're good there, but you're going to want it bigger than 120 gigs in a year or two, I promise. I think everyone, like I initially got a 120. I think everyone I know who got a 120 starting out or got a 64 starting out moved up pretty much as soon as they could. Do you still have it, or did you go up to like the 240? Yeah, I'm on a 240 now, which is pretty good, but I'm still on my like last 10 gigs of space most of the time.
I'm on a 180, but I'm very, very conservative with it, so it works okay.
Well, I don't have anything right now. After I died, I was just like...
You're a mechanic? You're mechanical?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's like PC poverty.
It died, and I was like, man, I'm really mad about this, and I never got around to upgrading it. I was actually thinking about trying out the hybrid ones. I've heard a lot of good things about those.
They're good. They are good if you... Like, really, for gaming, SSDs don't make a huge difference for most games yet.
Especially Battlefield.
Yeah. What I did, I just kept my old 120 as like a Photoshop cache drive, and I run a couple games on it, and then I run most of my games off just a regular Samsung 320 gig mechanical drive, and then I run all my Windows stuff off my Samsung 840 SSD. But yeah, so Jake, if you're looking to get an SSD, Samsung 840s are awesome.
Yeah, I've looked at them. I almost bought one on Black Friday. I was like, I can't do it.
But so yeah, that's basically for this guy's build. I'd go to the 3570K. I'd probably get a 750 watt power supply, and I'd skimp on the graphics card till the 800 series comes out, or I would spend more now if you just can't wait. But even if you get like a 670 or something, you'll be able to play all of those games. Not on the highest settings, but this will just be a temporary thing. But I mean, if you're going to spend $1,400, don't compromise in any area if you have to. It's probably worth it to wait a little bit longer and get a little bit nicer. But yeah. So this is another graphics card question from Shane. Hey guys, this might be a little lengthy, so I apologize in advance. It's only one paragraph, but thanks for the apology. He has
TLDR.
I'm looking at upgrading my graphics card from a 660 Ti to a 700 series card, or possibly a 7950 or 7970. What I want to know is, are any of these a worthwhile upgrade at this point? Are there any other cards you could recommend as a replacement? Or should I look into getting a second 660 Ti to SLI with my current one? The price doesn't matter right now, since I'll probably be upgrading this summer. And he sent me a list of all of his parts. He has an 8320, a really nice cooler, and a really nice motherboard, so I'm assuming he's overclocked it, 16 gigs of memory, a Samsung 840, and a 660 Ti, and he has a 750 watt power supply. So what would you guys do if you had a 660 Ti? I think it's pretty obvious it's not worth it to upgrade to a 7950 or a 7970. I mean, it's pretty much a lateral move. Yeah, that's a lateral move. If you really want an upgrade right now, get a second 660 Ti.
Yeah, from eBay. Cheap.
Yeah. I mean, for your money, that'd be the best.
It could, he could do exactly what we talked about like 5 minutes ago, is just wait. I mean, they're going to be, if he's buying this summer, he's going to be looking at a new round of graphics cards being pushed out. I mean, he could probably find, once those roll out, I'm sure there's going to be someone who gets rid of their 660 Ti for like
$120 or something.
Yeah, so I mean, shoot, you could probably find one on Craigslist for under $100, I bet.
Yeah, and your power supply should be able to handle it. So if you're looking at bang for your buck, get a second 660 Ti. That's a great card still.
But just wait.
Yeah, just wait.
Before you buy anything, really, like give it 2 months.
Yeah. Or you could always wait, like, we had a crazy graphics card war between the manufacturers like 3 months ago. Who knows? Maybe when NVIDIA comes out with the 800 series, AMD will just be like, introducing the R9 285. It's $50. It's identical to a 290X. Which is pretty much what they did with the 290. Hey, the 290 was amazing until Bitcoin. But
they drove the prices up.
Yeah, when because they released the 290X, which was just as good as a Titan, but it was $550, I think. And then NVIDIA was like, "Oh yeah, we're dropping the price of the 780 to $500." And then AMD released the 290, which was virtually identical to the 290X, benchmarks, everything, and they released it for $400, which was just insane. But then, like 3 weeks later, Bitcoin and Litecoin exploded, and they were going for like $600, $700. So
yeah,
oh well. But yeah, wait, get something else. And then our last question comes from Bawis, Bawis. Maybe it's supposed to be boss.
I think it is supposed to be.
But why the extra I? I don't know.
He's a special snowflake.
All right. Well, he's starting to look into saving up for building his first PC. He's in high school, and he has a job at the local grocery store. Thanks for the context.
Sounds about right.
His budget will be mid-range prices. Now, it's worth mentioning, mid-range varies from person to person. So by mid-range, I'm going to guess he means like 800 to 1,000. I want to be able to play...
750.
What?
Let's say 750.
Okay, 750. We're not making an actual list for him, so
yeah,
that'll be a little... But he wants to be able to play DayZ, Arma 3, and The Forest once it comes out. He also wants to record gameplay and edit videos.
On the same computer, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's new to the whole PC gaming thing. He doesn't know anything about it. His question is, can you guys recommend any brands or products to look into saving up for? That's just how he wrote it. That's the first question.
He's definitely going to want to go AMD.
Yeah.
I think. Both processor and graphics card.
Yeah, for the money you're going to need to.
NVIDIA graphics cards they typically do run you a little bit more because they can get away with charging more. But
and then Intel processors. Intel does not care about the under $200 market really for gaming. Like Intel basically starts at 200, and you're going to need to spend probably at 150.
Yeah.
So get 8320 or something. I mean, it's a good processor.
Honestly, I would just look, if he really wanted to get a good Intel processor, he could probably find a last generation i5, which is going to be perfect for gaming. As long as he's not streaming, an i5 would be able to handle most of the things he wants to do.
Well, I mean, the i5 2500Ks, those are crazy processors, and you can get them, new. They're still like 200 just because, but you can get them on eBay for, I've seen them as low as like 120. And at my last place of employment, I got my 2500K up to 4.5 gigahertz with no effort, and I've overclocked a couple 2500Ks. I've gotten one to 5.2 on air.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, those processors are just beasts. So if you could pick one of those up, like if you're okay getting stuff used, maybe like used from Amazon or something, so it comes with a return policy or something, I don't know. But you could probably get an Intel if you're willing to like compromise a little bit on that. If you want all brand new stuff, AMD, get an AMD 8320 or an FX 6300. But as far as brands, AMD is probably the biggest thing you'll have to look out for graphics cards. What do you think? If he's going AMD, probably Sapphire. I mean, I
like Sapphires. I mean, I've had 2 sets of Sapphires now that have all done really well. I'm a big fan of Gigabyte, but the only problem is they're typically a little bit more expensive.
I think if you go with Asus, Gigabyte, or Sapphire for an AMD card, you really can't go wrong. I mean, any of those. It depends on how much you want to spend and when you want to get stuff and what's available. But, if you get down to it and you're ready to actually buy stuff, let us know how much you want to spend and we can probably help you out more. But his second question is, do I need any special equipment for recording and for editing? You probably need a video editor of some kind, and you need a mic. I mean, there's Sony Vegas, which I think everybody who has YouTube uses.
The most pirated software on YouTube, guaranteed.
Probably.
I think I'm the only person I know with a legit copy.
Oh, I have 3 legit copies. I've had Sony Vegas since like Sony Vegas 6 or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Sony Vegas, it's popular for a reason, not just because it's cheap, but it's a really good video editor. It has issues with stability and multi-threaded rendering and things like that, but for your money, I mean, it can do most of what Premiere can do for the average filmmaker, and it can do it for like $600 less. So Vegas is good.
I transitioned from Final Cut to Vegas, and it was very painful.
Why? Because you liked Final Cut?
I love Final Cut. I still like it. Although I don't like Final Cut X. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but
I am.
It is a disaster.
I don't think anyone likes Final Cut X.
No.
And at least you weren't transitioning from Avid. When I first went into college, I was originally a video broadcast major, and they were using Avid for everything. I'm so glad Avid's done. Like Avid, if you've ever used it, the user interface makes no sense. There are no labels on anything. It's all little icons that you'll never see again in any other program. Like it's all their own little brand of weirdness. I hate Avid. But yeah, you need for recording, I mean, DxTory or Shadowplay. If you get an AMD card, not Shadowplay, but DxTory is probably the most popular video recording program for good reason.
Yeah, it relies heavily on hard drive write speed, though. That's
it does.
One thing to keep in mind.
But if you can get a good like H.264 codec, that shouldn't be an issue.
One alternative method is he could invest. I know this would cost more money. Is he could invest in like a capture card, because I actually use my Live Gamer to record all my Battlefield stuff. It does suffer from some frame tearing, though. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But I think you can get one for around 130, maybe if you're lucky, and it goes in your PCI slot, and you essentially loop through.
Okay.
It would make recording a lot easier, and it would make it so that you're not so limited on what kind of hardware you buy, because there's no CPU hit for the most part. It's like 3%, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that depends on how budget your build is. If you just won't be able to spare the CPU cycles, you could look into a capture card. But I mean,
now there's also Shadowplay.
Well, not if he gets an
cards.
AMD card. If he,
right.
I still don't know if I would recommend Shadowplay if he really wants to do a lot of recording, though, because you can't split audio tracks.
That's the number one problem. But if they later update that, Shadowplay is definitely going to be a viable option.
If they do.
The performance is amazing, but like you said, you can't count on that feature being there eventually. They want to do it, I've heard, but it's not guaranteed.
The nice thing about DxTory, besides the multiple audio streams, is that you can pretty much install any video codec on your computer DxTory can use. So if hard drive write speeds are a big issue, you can get like a really compressed H.264 codec. Or if you have tons of room, you can go with a Lagarith or the regular DxTory codec and just fill it up. So like DxTory is harder to set up than most other programs, but you'll have so many more options. Yeah, it's not user-friendly.
Yeah.
Especially since the website you have to get it from is in Chinese.
People get it from the website? Yeah. No, yeah,
I bought the DxTory.
I'm just joking, but it's like Vegas. It's one of those programs.
I have this thing where I feel very guilty about software.
You should go back and listen to our torrenting podcast. We had some people write in, and they some people felt very strongly that torrenting, there was nothing wrong with it ever.
DxTory, you get lifetime updates too, and it's only $42. It was a great deal in my opinion. I use it
to be fair, I think torrenting has its place for like if you need to test the software. Like for instance, like I wanted to test what was it? What's the Morellis action or whatever? I wanted to try that, and I was going to torrent it just to see if it worked well. Well, I actually ended up finding out they had a demo for it, which is a great thing because the demo actually got me to buy the software. But I think that's just a good example of what torrenting kind of has a place for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah, it's one of those things like I think Gabe Newell said it best. Mostly piracy is a service problem, not a money problem a lot of the time. Like if you could get free demos of things, I think people would pirate them a lot less if it was easier to try stuff out.
Yeah, I mean, because imagine if you bought Adobe Premiere and it didn't work. You'd be pissed.
Well, okay, I can give you... Yeah, I am, actually. I'm on the Adobe Creative Cloud. I'm a freelance graphic designer. So I have the Adobe Creative Cloud, which gives me actually pretty much all of the Adobe programs for a set fee each month, which initially I thought was going to be amazing. I get all the updates. Everything's like right up to it. I'm using the last generation versions of half of the programs because the new ones... they kind of pulled a Battlefield and they just don't work. InDesign, which is kind of their publication layout program, Adobe InDesign, it crashes if you have custom fonts loaded on your computer. Like,
wow.
Yeah, that's like one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard.
So the typesetting and publication program crashes because of typefaces.
Exactly. So yeah, you know what? Premiere actually works really well, but for Photoshop and InDesign, I bought the new ones, and I'm not happy. The guy's two more questions. Sorry. Is having more than one screen practical, or is it just for looks? I've seen a lot of builds with more than one screen, and I've never understood why. He's new. He's new. Go easy on him. What do you guys want to take this? I feel like we have some opinions here in the group.
I mean, to be fair, I only have one screen for my gaming PC. I use two at work though, so there's the difference. I don't know. I think if you're going to be editing and stuff, this is the same guy, right?
Yeah, same guy.
Yeah.
If you're going to be editing and recording, yeah, you want two monitors. You got to have it. I mean, monitors are cheap. You can go to Micro Center and get a 1080 monitor, like a Dell, for $100.
Yeah. I mean, I can't work without two monitors now. And actually, if I had space, I'd have three. I ran 4 in college. I ran 3 when I was in apartments. As soon as I'm back into an apartment, I'll be running 3 again. Like 2 feels limiting.
I wish Joel were here because he hates multiple screens. Like today, he started asking for suggestions for screens to help with the editing process for his movie, and he wanted to buy a screen that was 2560 by 1080p. It was like this freak of nature monitor, like super wide.
I've seen those. Those are really popular with editors. Actually, you know what I do, since I do edit for work a lot of times. I have one of my monitors turned sideways.
Yeah.
It's down, and you can see your whole Premiere, your whole Vegas tracks, whatever you tend to be using.
That is smart. I've got one I can flip sideways. I just don't have the room to do it. Is that good for video editing then? I mean, it seems like it would be.
I'm a big fan of the Dells, actually. I don't know what number it is, but Dells make some awesome monitors. I mean, they make some crappy computers.
They do. No, they're monitors because they make workstation monitors. That's their thing. I've got a Dell 23-inch IPS LED that I think I paid $130 for, and it's awesome. The only thing I don't like about it is it's pretty glossy. But that's not a big deal. But the image quality is amazing. I haven't used anything for anywhere close to the price. It's this good.
I use my matte Dell IPS for gaming. I love it.
Yeah,
response time is great. The colors are amazing.
I would say here's the thing with 2 screens. If you only get one and you've only ever used one, you'll probably be happy. If you get 2 and use them, be warned, you can't go back.
Yeah.
Like once you work on 2 monitors for a long period of time, you will get used to it, and going back to one is very hard. Yep. I mean, it's not like you can't do it. Okay, I don't want to blow this out of proportion, but realistically, you are not going to go back. So
there's no turning back now.
There's no turning back. Once you take the red pill, you just kind of have 2 monitors from then on. And the guy's last bonus question, it's a question for Joel. I'm going to go ahead and answer it because Joel's not here. Joel, since you do filming, can you recommend a good camera that at least shoots 720p footage? I'm looking into doing short films. I'll answer this for Joel, because this is the answer Joel would probably give. Joel shot his entire movie with a Canon 60D, which you can pick up the body for $500. It is a cheap camera. It's a DSLR, and the reason Joel's movie looks so good is because Joel is good at what he does, not because the camera is so amazing. It's a good camera, but the camera is not the reason it looks so awesome.
It's still basically entry level.
Yeah, it's very much an entry level DSLR. Yeah. Really, all you need if you want to do short films is you need something with full manual controls. You need to be able to manually set aperture, shutter speed, ISO, everything else. If you don't know what those are, read up on them. Trust me, it's important. But pretty much any entry level DSLR with manual controls will be perfectly fine. Resolution doesn't matter because like even small DSLRs have more resolution than 4K video. They just can't shoot video in it. So the resolution of the camera itself won't matter. I mean, I shoot weddings with a 10 megapixel camera and no one has ever complained. So knowing how to use it is worth a lot more than having the latest and greatest. So I would say, I mean, Joel shot most of the movie also with like a $100 50 millimeter lens and this $500 camera. They might have been cost more when he bought them, but that's what they go for now. So for $600, you can have the same gear that shot Norman, if that makes you feel any better. And
the don't forget the shoulder rig too, though.
Oh, a shoulder rig is nice. I mean, there's other stuff you can get. The point I'm trying to make is the camera is actually one of the least important parts of it.
It's just the first step.
It's just the first step.
Yeah.
Knowing what you're doing is worth a lot more. But yeah, a Canon 60D is a great camera then. If you don't know, That's an awesome camera. So get that maybe, or something else. So that is that's all our reader questions, listener questions. No one reads this.
Well, that's a podcast for tonight, guys.
Okay, so here's the main topic. And this is the reason that we invited Jake on tonight, other than the fact that, he's really handsome and we like him.
Now it's getting weird.
We're just warming up, guys. Okay, so Battlefield 4. Jake, I don't know your opinions on the Battlefield 4 launch, really. I know most of the other YouTubers I've played with, but I don't think I've heard yours. So can you give us like the 1 minute long version of what you think about Battlefield 4 since it's come out?
Sure. Netcode, staff shells, MBT laws, active radar.
There it is. That's what I was waiting for.
I'm just using some keywords here. I mean,
I'm triggering.
What's funny is like I used to post a video every day, and I did that for like 2 years. Every day, or at least like 5-6 a week. And it's like the Battlefield launch has been so bad that I get so frustrated that I can't even post videos on a regular basis. Like I've posted one on Monday, and I told myself, I was like, okay, I'm going to play Mantle. I'm going to experience Battlefield and love it. It's going to be a great experience. But I played and I got mad. And I mean, this is like, we're 6 months into the game. What is it?
3 months, right?
4 months.
4 months.
About
4 months. Good grief.
Guys,
yeah, and it's still rocky. Now, did I enjoy my ascent to level 110? Yeah, I had some fun moments in there, and it's fun playing with friends. But I mean, when you play alone, it is just
it's true.
Horrible.
Yeah, alone is the worst. It all just stands out so much.
I feel like I'm playing Slender Man when I play alone. Like, I get more scared playing Battlefield alone than any other game in the world.
Because you don't know what random game-breaking glitch is going to kill you next. Yeah. Well, that's why you just got to come over to DayZ. Join us in DayZ.
I play a lot of DayZ.
I see you play DayZ. You need to join our squad.
A lot lately.
You need a good squad.
I died recently. I was on a good run. I started the game on like a 3-week run. I didn't die. Then I got killed by just the worst way possible. And then I respawned. I had another character that lasted 2 weeks, and then I get killed by a dude who snuck up on me with an axe while I was like glitching all over the place.
Oh. One of those alpha deaths.
I had a Mosin, and the dude walked up on me with an axe. I mean, I don't know.
That's why you need a group to watch your back. Most of my dumb deaths are when I'm on my own. You need a group. You just got to have it.
Yeah,
it's just like Battlefield.
I was playing during lunch. And it caught up to me. Worst lunch ever.
That's what I did today. I lost my like 3.5 week character that had 300 rounds of 5.56. Like, this character has lasted since it was on a third person server. Had lasted since M4s were everywhere. So everyone had M4s.
No,
so
yeah.
I was completely loaded down with ammo. I died at the Northeast Airfield today. I was in one of the prisons. A guy started sniping at me through a window. I crawled into the hallway. I figured if I couldn't see any land, like there was only one window in the hallway, I figured if I couldn't see ground, he couldn't get to anywhere where he could shoot at me. And somehow he still one-shotted me and killed me. I don't know how. I've got to go back and look at footage. But, I lost.
Hacks.
Never getting that M4 back. I just painted it green yesterday. But so anyway, Battlefield 4
attached to your loot.
No. So they've released some patches recently, and the patches, they've made improvements. Like, the patches are definitely a step in the right direction, and for the first time I am consistently enjoying Battlefield 4. Not really more than Battlefield 3, but I'm not hating it on a consistent basis, which is definitely
hard to enjoy for a long time.
Very hard to enjoy. But now they've announced Battlefield 4 Player Appreciation Month, which started this past Saturday.
I'm definitely feeling it.
Are you feeling appreciated? Do you personally feel appreciated?
I saw those bronze battle packs. I'm like, damn, those are nice.
Well, that's
like, I'm level. I got a 25% XP boost. I'm level 110. I can totally use that.
Yes. Well, that's the first benefit they mention is a battle pack a day.
Bronze battle packs too.
Yeah, a bronze or silver.
I've not gotten a silver yet.
The silver's only on the weekends.
They're there, okay, Dave. They're there.
I opened a bronze today, and I got 2 25% XP boosts, and then the potato grip for none other than the PKP. You're totally gonna go with that on the PKP.
Actually, Jake, I was going to ask about your battle packs because I'm a bit weirded out, actually. My bronze ones have been really, really good. All the ones I've opened in the last week, I don't get it. Like today, I got 3 really good camos that I've been wanting, like in the same bronze battle pack.
I'm looking at mine right now. I got a lot of scopes, but then the one I was talking about, I got XP boost, potato grip, and then another 25% XP boost.
Do you think they actually tweaked it a bit to be a little bit better? Because it seems like compared to the bronze ones I used to get,
I think they're just giving you so many. You're just getting luck of the draw now.
Well, I'm looking down the page though, and consistently, yeah, my gold battle packs for the last week have been worse than my bronze ones. I don't know what's going on.
I think what it is with gold, like you probably have all like the rare things at this point.
Yeah.
So it's like all you get is XP boost. I don't know.
Well, I think it's really dumb to me. Well, also, they're having double XP weekends because that's something they've never done before. That's a special, unique thing they're doing. And community missions where you can work together to unlock gold battle packs. I think they're first.
I think that's kind of cool. I actually think that the community mission thing is cool.
But they've done them before though. They did them for Battlefield 3. They did they did that when they were releasing DLCs. They did the first people to so-and-so air kills or so-and-so infantry kills. They've been doing that. It's not like this is something they just dreamed up to appreciate us. They're just taking all their normal promotions and then shoving them under the tent of Player Appreciation Month. But the thing that's the dumbest to me is the shortcut bundles. You unlock all grenades and handguns. Now handguns, sure, whatever, but unlock all grenades. If there's anything Battlefield does not need more of, it's grenade spam.
I feel like that one's the easiest to get anyways.
So what do you guys think about the weapon shortcut things?
Go for it, Jake. I see it in your eyes.
I hate the DMRs. Now they're like friggin' amazing. I don't know if you guys have tried them since the patch. They're borderline OP now. It's like they went from being horrible to being like OP because they're like super loud. They're like crack, 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 crack.
I hate that sound so much.
It's like deafening because you can shoot them so like they're so much better now, and it's like everyone's using them, so you're like constantly getting DMR'd. But anyways. The shortcut bundle basically unlocks all the stuff for it, which whenever DMR sucked, I'm like, yeah, I'm down with that. But now I realize what it's created. It's created a monster because not only have you made DMRs better, everyone's using them, and everyone's using them with all the attachments because there's these stupid shortcut bundles. Or are they... Can you get them yet? I haven't even looked into that.
I haven't. I don't have premium, so I'm not even going to get the DMR.
Peasant.
No. Smart man. I refused to buy premium because I was nervous about how the game was going to launch, and I was worried they were going to have launch problems like Battlefield 3 did, so I did not buy premium, and I'm very glad I didn't because up till now, it most certainly would not have been worth the money.
I don't know. I'm feeling pretty high and mighty with my daily battle
your daily bronze. The nickel dice flips you every day to thank you for coming back.
Noah said in the comments, "It's the Battlefield 4 please come back to us month."
And they're also doing DICE developer talks, where they'll host a number of interviews with some of the core
none
developers.
other than Alan Kurtz.
Oh no, poor guy. The one that I saw today was on Origin. They announced like some sort of play with the Origin team event.
With the Origin team, the most loved group in gaming.
Those guys are going to get teabagged so much. Like, I would not want to be that.
If there's anything everyone can agree on, it's that Origin is the best way to experience your games. Welcome, Origin team.
I actually looked at some of the comments on the Ask Dice thing, and like 50% of them, if not more, was fix the game. Fix the game.
So, I mean, what do you guys think about the idea of Player Appreciation Month overall? I mean, to me, it's
the game. That's what I say.
It's almost a little insulting. Like especially since most of the promotions are stuff they've been doing for years with Battlefield 3, and they're just now calling it Player Appreciation. Like, I've done enough marketing. Like, I understand exactly what they're doing. They want to make people feel better, but they don't really want to lose any money because the shareholders will freak out. So they're like, how can we take the things we're already doing and just polish those turds into a nice sheen? Maybe get them to a nice bronze, which we can hand to people on a daily basis.
Form of a battle pack shape.
That's all they're doing is they're they're not giving out DLC. They're not like losing any money on this. You don't mind it? I mean, it's not it's not hurting them. I don't want to sound like a jerk, but
I think the important part is the patch. Like, forget about all the appreciation stuff. All that's just like extra fluff. It's not really that important. It's kind of cool, but if it wasn't there, I wouldn't care. The important part is the patch that came out. If that hadn't like launched before the month started, it would have felt like an insult to have battle packs as the response. The patch, I think, helped soften the blow of Appreciation Month.
To me,
it's kind of frustrating that they haven't given us the weapon balancing patch, though.
Yeah,
you guys realize like we're this far into it, and like they're like, here's what we're doing to the vehicles. Someday. It's like we get this patch and like they're supposed to do all these things, and it's like, oh, by the way, this patch doesn't have all the vehicle balancing, doesn't have the weapon balancing, which, there's a lot of things in the game that need to be balanced. I mean, staff
1911 needs help.
Yeah, they're fixing that, aren't they?
Yep. Better accuracy at range, I think.
Oh, less boy.
To me,
but it still shoots pebble.
A better player appreciation month would be if they said, all right, we have a major patch coming once a week for the entire month of February, and the whole month is double XP. Like that, that would probably get people playing a lot more. Like something that shows, hey, if they released a patch of the quality of the one they released a week or so ago, if they did that once a week for all of February, like, people would love them again, probably.
They should do, like, a server type thing where there's, like, a no BS server where you can't use any smart weapons.
Yes.
Those are all banned. And then they have, like, no DMR or something like that.
I would subscribe to that server. Like, I would pay money for that experience.
This is
no active radar.
This is something I was thinking about today, and I'm curious. Like, you guys have both played way more Battlefield 4 than me, because really, as soon as I figured out it was broken, I play very little of it. I'm playing a lot more now that this patch has come out. But to me, I think the problem Battlefield is having right now is the same problem that Call of Duty ran into, and that was that they tried to add so much in and that have so much customization that it just fails under the weight of its own ambition. Like, the thing that made Modern Warfare so great and the thing that made Battlefield 2 so great, I think one of the things was there weren't that many choices of the weapons you used. Like, there was a couple core things. They were all felt different from each other instead of like 10 assault rifles that are all almost exactly the same except for like a 5% change in the rate of fire or drop off. And they were actually different weapons, and now they've got so many customizations and tweaks and everything you can do. Everything, like, I don't think they can ever get the game balanced. I mean, I think it's probably just impossible. Not. I mean, what do you guys think? Is that just my impression of it, or is that something you felt too?
I want to hear what Yoshi thinks of the patch and the appreciation ones, because he's been playing a lot more than I have recently, I think.
Yeah, I've been playing daily now.
Yoshi?
Mainly, I like the player appreciation month because of the lack of playing I did when it first started, because of all the bugs and issues and stuff. So doing that and bringing out that nice patch is what really, really got me into the game a lot more. So that's how I feel about it. And with the balancing
part, you should call it catch-up month.
Right,
Battlefield 4 catch-up month.
But the balancing part is, yeah, I agree with you. It's probably going to be really difficult, but they should get a basic balancing taken care of. Yeah,
I think as a whole the weapons are pretty balanced. There's not a whole lot of issues there.
Because so many of the weapons are really kind of clones of each other with different, they've got different models and slightly different tweaked stats, but overall, pretty much any assault rifle I pick up feels like more or less the same gun. I mean, again, that could just be me.
You've got 3 types of wheels in the game.
It's just, it's the type of thing, if you're a good player, you can pick up almost any kit and do okay. And if you're a really bad player, the ultra elite, hand-gripped, suppressed, compensated, low drag
Ace 23.
Yeah, it's not really going to help you play that much better, because they can't really buff it to the point where it's overpowered, so you're not really getting any huge improvement. So, I don't know. It's just, it all feels a little pointless.
Their main problem, I think, personally, from the playing the game from the really early stages back during the alpha all the way, which technically I'm not supposed to talk about, all the way up into this. Even when we played at London, it seems like there was a march, so to speak, towards this gravitation of new players, because they knew there was going to be a lot of new players. I mean, they were going really hard pushing next gen. They knew a lot of people who never played Battlefield were going to buy it. So they're like, hey, let's include some things that the new players are going to like. How about as the first launcher, we give you one where you don't even have to aim it? You know, the MBT law. You get within a certain distance of the tank, it locks on and hits it. Most annoying thing ever for a tanker, because for one, there's no way to counter it. For two, it does enough damage where two people with those can take you out in like 30 seconds because it just reloads so quickly.
You can't run from it.
Yeah, they put things like the staff shell, which I bitch about way too much. They put the staff shell, they put the active radar in there. There's so many things that don't require any sort of precision. I mean, it's the equivalent of putting, like, let's say the 50 cal. You shoot the 50 cal round, and if it's within 5 meters of the chopper, it does damage. That's the same concept.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just pointless. It makes no sense. Yeah, I mean, wouldn't a player want to be rewarded for shooting down a chopper? It's like, oh man, I hit a chopper with an RPG. I feel like a boss. No, I missed the chopper by 15 feet, but the game was like, hey, we'll give it to you anyways, and then you shoot it down.
Well, they obviously don't think players, they must not think that players want to take the slightly harder but more rewarding route, because they're giving you half the weapons in the game. They're just going to unlock for you. They're giving you content you've already paid for. They're just giving it to you early, and then they want you to feel appreciative of it. I mean, it's it's just dumb. I mean, all right, so let's say set aside all the weapon balancing stuff that you may or may not want to see changed, and you know, we could probably argue all night over what needs to be balanced. But other than Player Appreciation Month in this most recent patch, what do they need to do for the game to officially be a good game as far as you guys are concerned? Like, what still needs to happen?
No one-hit kills? That'd be a start.
That'd be a start,
other than headshots, of course.
I think that's the most important thing. Honestly, if they could get rid of that, I would be pretty fine with that.
Yeah,
I think the vehicle balancing is pretty important.
Patch?
Well, I mean, that bug doesn't exist anymore. It's just the idea, like the feeling that you're getting insta-killed, insta-murked. That's still there. It's something with the net code where it's like it's not registering properly. I mean, I think the best example is when you kill trade with someone, that should never happen. Like, that shouldn't happen. If the game was running perfectly, there would be no kill trading. I mean, is it possible with two snipers shoot each other? Yeah, obviously. But, I mean, the way it happens in the game is like the client is recognizing both sides of the bullets, which that's problematic. I mean, you can't have a first-person shooter where the core element, which is shooting, doesn't actually work.
That's what I was saying to Dave recently. I was playing in the, I don't know if you had this happen, Jake. The W key stopped working. So temporarily, my player was unable to move forward. It feels like in 2014, in this era in which we live, if there's anything that ought to just work in any video game, it's the movement keys. Like, that's the type of... That just should be a totally unacceptable bug to have. Is nothing you should do should break the ability to move.
That was real fun when you're flying a jet, by the way.
I have had that happen.
It's only happened a couple times, but each time I was
rare.
like, "Are you kidding me?"
It's from Battlefield 3. It actually existed.
Really?
In Battlefield
3. It
never
never happened to me in Battlefield 3.
Wow.
Huh.
I'm a sprint whore. I'm like always moving forward. So like I was always experiencing that in Battlefield 3.
Huh. That's interesting. I honestly never heard that happen.
It's not actually like has anything to do with moving. It's something with the terrain.
Oh, okay.
Like you're stuck. It thinks you're stuck on something, and then like you get. Because if you ever notice, like when it happens, you stop, you kind of look down, and you're trying to figure out what's going on, and you start going again. It works.
Yeah, usually I just dance around, and then I can move forward, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
So
it's something with terrain.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, I just noticed Steam all of a sudden is doing a massive patch on something. Let me pause that.
Yeah, your video's like getting crushed.
What on earth is it doing? I'm sorry. Dave, vamp for a minute while I figure out why Contagion needs 2 gigs right now.
Yeah, a bunch of games just updated for me. Contagion, Rust, Insurgency, and Chivalry has like a 2 gig patch.
That's
weird. My video finally caught up on the stream.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I noticed you were a bit behind there, Yoshi.
Well, 9 p.m. on a Thursday, it's the best time to release updates.
I think I was updating games too. They finished now.
Steam.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm more excited about Battlefield 4, but it's still not to the point where I'm ready to recommend it to anybody, and it's definitely not to the point where I want to buy premium. If they want to give it to me, if they really want to appreciate me and give me premium, I'll take it. But
mark my words, you will buy premium by the end of February.
Oh, really?
You will feel so appreciated.
I'm waiting on a sale.
All right, Jake. All right, I'll check in with you. How about that?
You know why I'm saying that? It's because Second Assault comes out at the end of February.
Ooh, okay, you're gaming on that.
It's tempting.
When I was watching you guys play in London, Second Assault looked pretty good.
I have it for Xbox One, and it's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah, it's already out, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all I play on Xbox One.
All right, question for you, Jeremiah. Let's say that Second Assault comes out at the end of the month. You're feeling really appreciated, like it's just really sunk in there, and premium is on sale for $30. What do you do at that point?
Not $30. Not $30.
Not $30.
I'll go with $30.
20. 20 would probably get me.
20?
20 would probably get me.
I don't think we're going to see a giveaway, even if it's just Second Assault. I don't see that happening.
They're not going to give it exactly. They're not going to give us anything that causes them to lose out on potential profit.
Yeah.
They're only going to give us stuff we've already paid for. $20. I would say if the game continues to improve and things are going really well, I would consider it for $20, but probably not 30. Because what they ended up doing with Battlefield 3, premium got dirt cheap by the end. You could buy the premium version of the game, like the core game and premium, for what, $20?
Really? I always thought they kept premium high, and then they just made the base game really cheap. Because I remember I saw the game for like $7.99, but then the premium was still at like $50.
Yeah, you can get them both for like $50 right now. Premium.
And then they had Premium Edition that came out, and then that got... I never really saw that go below 40.
No, on sales, it got down to 20 several times.
Yeah, on sales.
Really?
But Origin doesn't do sales that often, so it probably flew under most people's radar, because at that point, I think everyone had Battlefield 3 who was going to get it. But
Humble Bundle.
Yeah, the Humble Bundle. Well, the Humble Bundle wasn't for premium; it was just the base game, right?
No, I mean, if you got to figure, if you bought
true.
Battlefield for like $1, I mean,
that was a good week as a veteran player. Like that, the Humble Bundle noob week was awesome.
That was when I was on my BF3 hiatus, and it actually got me to come play a few rounds.
Almost as good as Christmas. So, Jake, before we wind the podcast down, if you don't mind, I'd like to just ask you a few questions. Anytime we have someone on who does YouTube, I like just talking to them about it. This is actually the biggest thing I've been wondering, and probably you've been asked this a dozen times, but where did you come up with the name InTheWorksMedia?
Oh, it's still in the works.
Oh!
And that's the podcast.
So terrible jokes. Okay, all right, gotcha.
I mean, when I was in high school, me and my buddies, we used to make like short films, stupid stuff. A lot of kids do that kind of stuff. But there was this phrase we used to use when we play poker, which would be called, and we would say like, our straight, it's in the works.
Oh, okay.
So we actually called our thing, in the works films, or whatever you want to call it. So since that was my name and I kind of used it, I just kind of carried it over into my YouTube channel. I wish that it didn't say media, but some mean soul out there owned the rights to In the Works. So I just slapped that onto the end of it. And that's the story.
What made you get into first putting up Call of Duty videos? Because that's how you got your start, right? Was Call of Duty?
Yeah, I used to play World at War. I was really into that. Unfortunately, that channel did not last long because that's right before YouTube got really stringent on copyright stuff. So any sort of music and stuff like that killed my first channel. So I started the second one, which is this one. And I played a lot of Call of Duty. Considering that I played a lot of COD 4 on PC, that's what I kind of transitioned over to Xbox because everybody was playing on Xbox at the time. And I didn't PC game until Battlefield came out, oddly enough. Like, there was a huge break there for me. Be it because I was poor, and it was a lot cheaper at the time to just use your Xbox. But, yeah, I mean, I like Call of Duty, honestly. It's one of my guilty pleasures in life.
Well, I've said it many times on here. Modern Warfare, to me, is one of the best multiplayer shooters that's ever been made.
It was good. It was very good.
I mean, I still love it. I've played most of the Call of Duties I end up going back to and playing. I'm not a huge fan of the series anymore, just because I feel like they need to just slow down. Oh, actually, there's good news on that front. Did you hear the news today? They're going to a 3-year development cycle.
Yeah,
Nice.
That's not good news because the one that's coming out this year is going to be god awful.
Well, probably, but I mean, for future ones, it might be good. But Sledgehammer Games is doing this year's, and then Treyarch,
from the makers of the worst Modern Warfare game ever, because they made MW3.
Sledgehammer did?
Yeah, they did the multiplayer for MW3.
Oh, the multiplayer. Multiplayer. Okay.
Because they tag teamed it with Infinity Ward, and everyone's like all excited, like 3-year development cycles. I was like, yeah, for the next game, not for this game.
Yeah. For this game, it's probably not going to be worth anything. But overall, it might give Call of Duty a chance at being.
Yeah, especially since Treyarch actually is going back to World War II. That's what everyone's saying.
Oh, cool.
Really?
That's what the rumor is that they're going to do World at War II, which is essentially going to be Black Ops 3. But if you've played Black Ops, you'll know the story is very closely.
I've played Black Ops and I have no idea what the story is.
I played Black Ops 1 to World at War. They're all intertwined together.
They kind of are, but I don't know. I kind of give up on Call of Duty storylines pretty early. Modern Warfare is the only one I really cared about that much.
I'm a big fan of World at War, so...
World at War, I never really played that much. I was still like riding high on Modern Warfare when World at War came out. Since it wasn't quite as good, I was just like, eh. And then I never really got around to playing it. I played the zombies part a lot. I loved the zombies thing.
It has some of the best voice acting.
Jake, I think your mic is muted.
Yeah. Sure?
It went away. I saw your mouth moving and it wasn't coming through.
Oh, weird. I wonder if it's lagging.
It's all right.
But I was going to say, it's got some of the best voice acting in World at War.
It does. It does have very good voice acting. I remember that part. But, so... Yeah, I mean, so your YouTube channel does very well. I'd say you're getting to be one of the bigger Battlefield guys out there. Did Battlefield, did you just start playing it on a whim, or did you kind of see that as transitioning away from Call of Duty, or did you want to play both at the same time?
Well, I mean, I played a lot of Battlefield when I was in college and when I was younger. I was really big into 2142.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably my favorite Battlefield game. And honestly... I didn't post Bad Company 2 because I didn't like it. I was really annoyed at the time that... Because I still had my gaming PC, and it wasn't a PC game, and that made me mad.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I was playing on Xbox at the time, I still only played Battlefield on PC. I mean, I was very adamant that was where you need to play Battlefield. And Bad Company 2 was just... couldn't do it. So there was a while there where, I've got hundreds of hours played in Bad Company 2, don't get me wrong, but... it just wasn't doing it for me. So when Battlefield 3 came out, I already knew that was going to be the game I was going to play, because I played in the alpha. I went to PAX and I played in the pre-alpha tournament, and I was really excited for Battlefield 3. And oddly enough, not a lot of people jumped on the bandwagon, and it got off to a slow start. And that was kind of like the entry point into YouTube, I guess. That's where I started to grow. Because I think at the time I was at 10,000 subs. And I had a pretty established channel. I had a pretty established channel, so it was nice to kind of be able to post something different.
Right.
And it just happened to be popular, because at the time, Modern Warfare 3 was a piece of trash. No one liked it, and everyone was going to Battlefield. So,
yeah, I remember that. I only ever played the campaign of Modern Warfare 3, and honestly, if you ask me right now, I couldn't tell you a single distinguishing characteristic of that game. I think Modern Warfare is where at least Infinity Ward jumped the shark. Or so I thought until Ghosts came out, but...
Oh no, Modern Warfare 3 is so much worse than Ghosts.
Ghosts
the part
had a cool premise, at least, even if it kind of went flat. But I remember everyone complaining, apparently the multiplayer in Modern Warfare 3 was completely broken. I mean, I never played it.
It was horrible. It was the worst experience I've ever had.
What was so bad about it?
It's just bad. I don't even know, everything about it. There's stupid, score streaks where... If you go 15 and 50, you could get a stealth bomber. I mean, come on.
Well, that's actually, I think, the biggest thing for me that killed multiplayer in Call of Duty was the stupid kill streaks. It was like, wow, you're doing better than everyone else. How would you like a magical gunner chopper that can kill everyone on the map 5 or 6 times before it runs out? Here you go.
Let's make it worse.
Well, it's the rich get richer concept.
Yeah.
However... Modern Warfare 3 was like, hey, why don't we do the rich gets richer, and we'll throw in the poor get rich.
And the poor win the
scenario.
lottery.
Yeah. It's like, hey, you've done a good job dying, and you've built up these points towards a stealth bomber that covers the entire map. Here you go. Let's end this guy's kill streak.
I think it was in Black Ops. What's the name of it? Nuketown. Nuketown and Black Ops with kill streaks,
best
to me,
map ever.
Well, I was gonna say, is simultaneously the best and most infuriating thing I've ever played. It's just, when someone gets a chopper gunner, it's like there's nowhere on the map. You're in a 1/4 acre lot, and everyone's just dying over and over. But that map is a classic. But it also makes me scream and cry.
Yeah, the part where you were saying about Modern Warfare 3 being the worst multiplayer, knowing that Sledgehammer Games was the one that did it explains why I hated it too, because that's the one I hated the most.
Well, what else have they done?
Even the control feeling was just completely different from all of them, it seemed to me.
I think Sledgehammer did.
I think
what did they do?
Dave's Googling right now, I think.
No.
They did something that was like mainstream. Was it Dead Space?
Yeah. They're the Dead. They've worked on Dead Space. I don't know which Dead Space, but I guess
I thought that was Visceral.
that
Well, there was like a Scrub Studio that did one.
Whoa.
Get wrecked.
Yeah, I mean, I guess who knows? You know, anytime Call of Duty talks about how amazing this year's is going to be, invariably some people get really excited, some people stay really cynical, and then everyone's pretty much confirmed that, oh, it wasn't that great. And then it still breaks every sales record and so on and so forth. But it won't last forever. Call of Duty will either have to do something amazing or they're going to turn into Tony Hawk or Rock Band. So it's only a matter of time.
You mean Guitar Hero? You know who owned Tony Hawk and Guitar Hero?
Activision.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No.
It's all part of the plan, man. Just drive it in the ground.
I've talked about this quite a few times. That's totally their plan. I mean, it's a great business idea. You take what's hot and you pump every dime out of it until it won't make you any more money while they look for what's going to be the next Call of Duty.
They're like the anti-Valve. Valve is like, you want Half-Life 3? Nope.
And then they can wait and bring it back. Like, they can wait 3 or 4 years, bring back Tony Hawk, and people will be super pumped and forget that the last 5 Tony Hawk games were total miserable pieces of junk, and people will be excited. Nostalgia is a powerful thing. But I can't believe... I guess Activision, they probably pinch themselves every day that World of Warcraft is still going, and people are still paying $50
they
a
don't...
month.
Blizzard, they split.
Oh, they split? Oh, when was that?
What?
Recently.
Okay.
They went back to being solo.
I don't know why they ever joined up with Activision, because if there's any company that was basically printing money on PC gaming, it would be Blizzard. I mean...
Well, they were just joined financially. I don't think they joined operationally.
Yeah.
But even then, financially, why would they need it? They were running like 11 million WoW players a month.
It was because Activision was better at publishing.
Oh, okay.
Activision is, besides maybe like EA, Activision was the second biggest like publisher out there. So it was more of like a tool if Blizzard wanted to go into the console realm, but that never really played out. I mean, they did Diablo 3 for PS3, but that's about it.
Yeah, and that was a really well-loved game.
I liked it.
No, I mean, from what I hear, people... Well, actually, I think on the consoles it's supposed to be a lot better because it never had that auction house that everyone hated on the PC. So, supposedly, without the auction house, it's actually a pretty decent game. It's just when you add in the auction house, it becomes more about microtransactions and grinding than the classic Diablo experience. Or at least that's what I've heard. Mm-hmm. I've played a whopping 10 minutes of Diablo 3, and that was with Joel on his Xbox, so... That was while we were waiting, I think, for Grand Theft Auto to update or something when it came out. So that wasn't really,
it was an amazing experience.
Yeah,
right?
not really an amazing experience, but all right, we're gonna wind the podcast down because we've about hit our target time. But while we're on the way out, is there anything any of you guys wanted to bring up? Any parting shots or last topics you wanted to cover?
I actually just remembered one.
Okay.
I don't know if I came into the podcast late, but Amazon acquired video gaming studio Double Helix.
Okay.
Really?
Oh, really?
What's Double Helix done?
They just did the new Killer Instinct for Xbox One. They've done...
Which was a sham, by the way.
Yeah, they've done a bunch of
from Rare?
shovelware games.
Shovelware, yeah.
Yeah, but Amazon's apparently wanting to jump in on a Android-based console.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here's the peak
news
of their career. 2012, Battleship the game. Battleship the movie, the game.
But it turns out Killer Instinct's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard
they did a good job
with
that. Even though like Microsoft gives you one character and then you have to buy the rest.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god.
I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's free, so I mean, if you had any interest in it, you could
That's
just
true.
buy the game.
There's no excuse for what they did with Forza 5, that's for sure.
I was just more offended that they would take that from Rare. It's like that Microsoft bought Rare, which was the powerhouse game maker of the late 90s, and just destroyed them in every way they could possibly do it. And this was like the final blow. It's like, oh, you want to make a Killer Instinct sequel? Nope, we'll give it to these guys whose best game is Battleship, the game.
No, it's Battleship, the movie, the game. It's not the actual board game. That would be too much fun.
Well, I mean, publishers are good at that. I mean, everyone loved DICE until EA and DICE got a little too cozy during Battlefield 3. Like back when, EA used to have a much better reputation. Like, I never understood all the EA hate until like 3 years ago. It started making sense.
I've been bitter with EA ever since Westwood. I will forever hold a grudge over Westwood.
But that was what, 2007?
No, Westwood was closed in like 2005.
Really?
I think.
Okay. Oh, so
What's
speaking Command and Conquer.
Yeah, the original Command and Conquer.
Speaking of
Are you
which, there's a
serious?
Command and
I
Conquer
loved it.
FPS coming out. They announced
Renegade was great, and there's actually a remake of Renegade coming out on the Unreal Engine, a standalone mod. Basically, it looks really, really good. It has like the buying the vehicles and the base building. It looks pretty awesome.
All I want is my Tiberium Wars 2.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That was like not your favorite though, was it?
Yeah, I didn't hate it, but yeah, it was all right.
That was my intro to the Command and Conquer series. That was the first game I ever played where they would actually slow down the game based on the clients. Like, the slowest client would slow everyone else down. Jake, you remember I told you about that Dell before the podcast? We called him Commander Dell. It was a Pentium 4, 3 gigahertz, with I don't even remember, a 6300 GT or something in it. Whatever card came with it. And that was, so me and my roommate had these custom built PCs, and then this third guy in our dorm would come in and play on the Dell. We set him up his own little desk, and we'd play Command and Conquer every night. So as soon as you hit a big map, it would slow down to like 6 or 7 frames per second, because that's all the little Dell could crank out. That game actually made me upgrade my my network switch. I had a 10 megabit switch, and you can laugh at that. That's okay. But
you want to talk about nostalgia, though? I got my start with game art and modding in Red Alert 1, editing INI files. I mean, like pixel art, Red Alert 1. That game was so much fun. Unit reporting.
For me,
Red
the old EA racing games like Need for Speed and what was it, Test Drive and a few other Test Drive Off Road. And Need for Speed, a couple of those games, you could actually swap the car models in between them just by copying the art files from one folder to another. And so and this was like 12-year-old me who didn't really understand what modding was, I imported most of the cars from Need for Speed into Test Drive Off-Road. Like the car models, not the actual performance. But that was my first intro into, hey, with the PC you can mess stuff up and it'll never work, and your dad will get mad at you and the computer runs terribly.
PC Master Race.
But yeah, so as we wind the podcast down, thank you guys as always for watching. To be a part of the show, write into casualshenanigans@gmail.com, tweet at casualshenaniga, no N. You could follow all of us at Germ Gaming, at Evil Viking, at InTheWorksMedia is your Twitter handle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't know if I had the media on the end or not. Dave has to be a little hipster over there who takes the number off of his Twitter name.
The only reason I have a 13 is because some jerk stole the Evil Viking YouTube channel only to drop it like 5 years later after never using it. It's actually available.
You've told us all, Dave.
You can actually
still bitter.
Email YouTube and get it.
What?
What? You not?
Rebranding 2014.
Well, you wouldn't have to rebrand. It would just be wherever they went, it would redirect.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that would be cool. That might be worth looking
Email
into.
them. If you're partnered, you can usually do it.
Oh, cool.
I think it's still available.
So while Dave's looking into his new weekend project,
Let me steal it real quick.
Yeah, like, as every listener goes right now, how much is it worth for you?
Yeah, I think YouTuber White Lightning Kyle, or Mr. Technical Difficult, he just got his Mr. Technical Difficult account like banned for messing with stuff. But
false tags.
Yeah, his White Lightning Kyle, he renamed it to Mr. Technical Difficult, I believe.
Well, that kind of is one way to get around the issue.
Guess so.
But all right.
I mean, you could always just change your name too.
Yeah.
Because like if you look at mine says In the Works. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's quite a few YouTube users who they're URL is not anywhere close to the name they call themselves in game, you could just start calling yourself Evil Viking and your redirect would just be Evil Viking 13. I mean, there's always that option.
It's like Menace with Oddbox 701.
Yeah, exactly.
That bothers me every single time. Whenever I go to his channel, I always type in Menace first into YouTube.
Hi guys, Menace here.
Wow, you got the exact same level of mic distortion going on there. It sounds pretty much like
hold on. Let me start eating some chips here.
We have nothing but love for you, Manus, if you ever see this.
Or are you kidding?
But thank you guys for watching. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Jake, thank you for joining us tonight to talk about Battlefield.
Yeah, no problem.
Feel free to come in
or
anytime.
the lack thereof.
Yeah, feel free to come in anytime like you feel that acid rising up in your stomach on the latest thing that Battlefield's done. Just pop right in. We have a nice warm seat ready in the hate circle.
Yeah, next time I get fresh off getting killed by active radar, I know that's just where to go.
If it happens on a Thursday night, just tweet at us really quick. Be like, I need an invite, guys, right now. I need one.
Yeah, Jake, if you want to rage about active radar, I'm your guy. All my hate.
I tend to take the staff shell approach, but they are nerfing. They're making it a 21 damage weapon now. Ooh.
Why is that the last unlock for tanks?
I can still shoot you for 50 damage in 1 second with my HE shell and staff shell combo.
Battlefield. Anyway, we're not going to have a podcast next week unless Dave wants to host it himself, because I'll be skiing. And I don't care about you guys. I actually will be visiting Dave and Joel in their hometown, so I don't know, maybe we'll bust out a podcast that I can upload later or something. We probably won't, let's be honest. But there probably won't be one next week, but you can tune in the week after.
We should do some target shooting too while you're down here.
I would probably say yes. I don't know where I'm going to keep the gun while I'm there.
Well, if you were to look behind me, wrong side.
I can bring. Yeah, it's true. I can bring it to your house. I've got. Well, you can see right behind me. Actually, all that ammo is all 5.56. So nice. It's kind of burning a hole there.
Look, I did like the responsible gun owner thing last year, and instead of buying new guns with my tax return, I bought a safe instead, and it's really, really empty. I have an empty gun safe.
You want me to come bring some buddies
you guys
for your safe?
You guys would hate where I live.
Where do you live? Well, okay, actually, you don't need to hand that out if you don't want to.
No, I live in Illinois.
Okay.
Well, to be fair, we actually just passed concealed carry, so you guys are good.
Yeah, but
you guys were the last state, right? I was the last one.
I live in Virginia. Yeah. I can open carry. I can open carry before I'm legally allowed to buy a handgun. I can be carrying one on my hip.
I actually used to work for Winchester, oddly enough, which actually was based in Illinois, and it was really weird because it was like, they're the strictest gun laws, but yet here is the #1 manufacturer of ammunition in America.
I did not know that Winchester is based out of Illinois. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
it'd only be better if they were based out of Maryland.
They moved all operations of centerfire down to Mississippi, though.
Oh, okay.
Mississippi seems like it'd be a pretty lax state when it comes to gun regulations.
It is union free. That is why they did it.
You know, I noticed a trend here that every time Joel is not on the podcast, guns come up at some point.
Because guns are awesome. I mean, guns are just tools, and you should be safe and responsible. But yada yada yada, shooting stuff is cool. Is that real, Yoshi, or did you just happen to have?
Yeah, it's my Taurus PT 1911.
Oh, okay, I didn't know you had one.
Yeah,
cool.
It's a 1911, bro.
Okay.
All I need to do is get 50 meters away from you, and you can't hurt me. Battlefield logic.
Well, that's it right there.
But yeah, Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for coming out and watching. Thank you for being a part of the podcast. As always, send in your questions, send in your hate mail. We like that too. And send in your really offensive comments on Dave's channel so we can read them out for you. I guess Joel is probably not joining us tonight, so as a reminder, thank you to everyone for helping fund Norman, and it will probably be awesome when it comes out. So thank you all again, and we will see you all later.
Night, guys.
See you later.
Stay casual.